with comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So it's been a big fucking morning for the boy Al. Got a lot of shit done already. Tomorrow, I booked in my truck license. Wednesday, working at heights. Thursday, elevated work platform under 11 meters. Friday, fucking elevated work platform over 11 meters. And Friday's also my 10-year anniversary. Me and my wife have been married for 10 years this Friday. We've been together for 14, which continually becomes a bigger and bigger percentage of my entire life. Soon it will be half and then eventually 3/4. Well, hopefully I make it to 3/4. Anyway, did that. That's the work shit, which I don't want to do, but I'm going to do. And don't worry, people. I've been getting messages from people saying like, no, don't go back to work. You not working has been fucking like an inspiration. You following your dreams gives us hope. And I'm like, hey, if you've been listening to the podcast for any longer than about 3 weeks, you know my work ethic. You know I'm not going to be out there, especially in 35 fucking degree heat like it is today, whistling and dogging and craning for very long. I even said to my wife today after I fucking booked all this shit in, I'm like, I've got maybe like 2 months in me. Maximum. I'll do it to get some of the shit under control, but fucking, this is not a long-term fucking plan. Once I have the credit and a couple other things under control, the boy Al will be back to the fucking couch. The problem is, this is the problem with not working and doing something like a creative career. I'll fucking lay it out for you. You always dream of not having to go to work. And not having to go to work is not having to do work. So the dream really is basically you just want to be lying on the couch doing whatever the fuck you want all the time forever. That's the dream. But the problem is when you have like a career in comedy or something, you have to work your fucking ass off all the time. You got to be gigging, you got to be writing, you got to be fucking podcasting, social media, all sorts of shit. You got to learn how to fucking edit. You got to learn how to film, clip, fucking do all sorts of shit. And it becomes like a 24 fucking 7 job. But you have to be self-motivated. You've got to drive yourself. So what happens is you end up wasting basically all your free time doing fucking pointless shit. And you really end up doing just like the bare minimum. I don't know if this is all other comedians. The successful ones work 24/7 all the time. They're on all the time. They're hustling, they're bustling, they're doing all sorts of shit. I do this podcast every day. And the rest of my time, like I do Buddhism, I do jiu-jitsu, gym, I like to read. There's a lot of stuff I like to do before the actual work I have to do. You know what I mean? So what happens is you become lazy and complacent. And I suppose that's crept in over the last 4 years that I haven't worked. And there's been a little bit of a plateau. So I've noticed today, this work, like actual work, the crane operating or dogging or rigging or whatever, it's on the horizon, it's coming. And now I'm like, fuck, let's get this comedy career happening because I don't want to fucking go back into the crane. It never seemed like that was happening until like recently. And now I'm like, let's fucking focus in, let's drill in, let's do all the shit that I was putting off for a fucking another day now. So that's what I'm doing. The threat of work is actually making me fucking motivated. So I fucking hit up the venue where I was running Lazy Bones Comedy Club all last year. And I fucking emailed them today and booked in the full year from February 21st till the fucking December 4, fortnightly. So I've got that fucking running all year. So that's me booked in for those dates. And then I've got this fucking show about death that I want to do. So I'm going to do that at all the fringe festivals, except Edinburgh. It's not going to be ready for Edinburgh, but I'll do fucking Sydney and Melbourne fringe and maybe fucking Brisbane or something like that. This is all today. It's the most work I've done fucking probably in the last 4 years combined. Then I started working on the Dodgy Diaries, how I'm going to film it, how it's going to be fucking laid out, a little bit of the cover art and all that sort of shit I need to get done. Because if I'm not doing ads, I need that fucking Patreon fucking pumping. And I feel like the Dodgy Diaries could be a good thing. The only problem I think that may happen with the Dodgy Diaries is some of them could be a little bit, I don't know, lackluster, because sometimes when you interview someone, even if they're like fucking cool people and they're funny and all that sort of stuff and they're experienced, even they can suck pretty bad. So people who have no experience, it's going to be a roller coaster, but fuck it. It's going to be real. That's what it's going to be. It'll be real. And the good thing is everyone's a fucking alcoholic. So there's good stories and it will probably be like AA. You get on and you tell everyone how fucked up you are. But the way I envision it is everyone who's on the Patreon will listen and watch the Dodgy Diaries, and the person being interviewed is part of the Patreon, so I'll put their name there. People can message them. You can get to know each other, that sort of thing. You know, like a community type vibe. That way you don't have to go to AA. You can just speak to the Dodgenies and fucking, I don't know, help each other along or some bullshit like that. So that's what I'm thinking. This is the motivation. This is what you have before you leave your job. You're like, I hate my fucking work. I can't work anymore. Let's fucking really crush this comedy shit. That's starting to come back to me now. So I did all that today, and then I went to the fucking gym and blasted out some fucking reps. So this week you've got some podcasts coming. You've got the fucking HR driver's test, and then you've got another 3 episodes of those stupid fucking construction licenses. Jesus Christ. Anyway, it's fucking Monday. It's a fired up Monday. And you know what that means? It's Ask Boyle time. So if any of you have a question you would like answered by one of the greatest minds of the generation, crane driver, philosopher, comedian, Le Boyle, then head to my website. I need some questions. Just ask me fucking anything. I don't give a shit. I'll answer it all. So head to my website, boylecomedy.com. There's a section there for Ask Boyle. Put in your question. I'll answer it and we'll all live happily ever after. But anyway, this week's question was sent in from the UK. It's the big fucking Dodd, Tommy fucking Dodson. And here's his question. So most of us struggle with tackling our addictions and most of us fail. But at no point in your podcast have I ever felt you were close to folding. What's the closest you've been to getting back on it? What's the difference between you and the rest of us fuckwit failures? Well, Tommy D, you have come to the right place. The big difference is, and the main difference is, I am Le Boyle and you are Tommy D. No, fucking, there's absolutely no difference between me or fucking anyone. The only difference is I fucking failed so many times and I just got exhausted, completely fucking exhausted of not being able to quit properly. That's all it was. I just smashed my head against the brick wall so hard for so long, so many fucking times that I'd just come to the end of it. It felt like a life or death thing. It was just like, either you're going to fucking bash your brains out against this wall or you're going to fucking change your life completely. So once I made that final fucking decision, it was like cement. It was done. I was like, I'm not going back. I've done the fall off the fucking wagon. I've done the long stint off it. And then I've seen what happens when you get back on it. It just erases the fucking year and a bit you fucking did off. I've seen what happens when you take like a few months off and everything starts going good. And then immediately, as soon as you start drinking, you're fucked again. I guess I just never stopped trying. Once I knew it was a problem, I fucking never stopped trying. And then once I made that decision, once the decision was locked in, it was proper locked in. When was my fucking weakest point though? When have I been closest to folding? I don't know if I fucking have been that close to folding. There's been so many things along the way that fucking I'm just like in the middle of it. I'm like, fuck, I would have used this to drink. This would have been a prime excuse to drink, like my wife's miscarriage, just any fight, fucking traveling overseas, the sellout shows in Toronto, the shows in fucking Ireland, England. Like, that's just, they are pure fucking, I want to get fucked up events. But I didn't even really feel an urge there. I felt antsy in a few of those situations. Like, fuck, I don't want to be like completely sober here. But if you hold off long enough, then you see the night sort of unfold and you're like, I don't really even want to be part of that night. That night looks like it's going to suck. You know what I mean? At the start, everyone's fucking vibing. It's all exciting. Everyone's having a good time. But if you wait an hour and a half, 2 hours, everyone's messy as fuck. And the night has no direction. And no one's really been as funny as they think they are. Or it's not as fun as you think it is. And if you're sober, you can watch it and go, nah. But anyway, back to making the final decision. When I made that final decision, this is where I think people trip up. I fully had to let go, and letting go is such a big fucking theme in my life now. After that ayahuasca session, it's such a Buddhist fucking thing, just the letting go and the grasping. The grasping makes you miserable. But I let go of the idea that I'm going to have that type of fun anymore. I was like, I've had all of that type of fun, the drunk fun. I've had all of it. I don't need any more. I've experienced every fucking variation of that type of fun there is. And there wasn't a lot coming anymore anyway. It was 95% a nightmare and the occasional glimpses of fun. Whereas when you're young, it's like 95% fun and 5% like a broken arm or a fucking chipped tooth or something like that. It really switches as you get older and you haven't quit. So I was like, all right, that type of fun is out of my life now. I was like, I'm going to have to find other ways to fulfill myself. I'm going to have to find other ways to have fun, whatever that may be, which I haven't had a lot of. But that is out of my life now. And when I sort of like came to terms with that, and also that I owed my friends nothing, I actually owed my friends and my family sober more than anything. You know, when you're quitting, you sort of have this like, oh, I need to keep drinking because of me mates and me fucking family and all that and gatherings and all that. Honestly, you're not as fun, but your family and your friends like you more when you're sober. Unless they're crazy booze hounds, then you're probably not going to speak to them again because you're a boring cunt. But yeah, once you come to terms with that and fucking not being able to use it as a crutch anymore, then it sort of fucking loses the hooks it has in you. There's obviously more to it, but that's the way I feel at this second right now. Could change tomorrow, but that's how I feel. Anyway, I got to go pick up my fucking kid, take him to soccer. So that'll do for today. The Degeni Diaries is coming, so jump on the Patreon, sign up. It's all at boylecomedy.com, and I'll see you the fuck later.